Hey everyone, it's Raz from the Semi-Retired Samurai. I hope you're all doing well, no matter where you are in the world. I've been reading up a lot on just going to videos and maybe blogs about retirement, and I'm seeing this word come up called the go-go years. And I wasn't sure what it was at first, but then it was explained to me what they're referring to is the youth of your senior years. So at the time when you're healthy, you have time to do the things that you want to do, travel, maybe start a side business, and you're going to have all this freedom that you never had since you were a child. And something was, I guess, hit me back when I was 55. And I always thought to myself, I'm going to work till 65 and retire. And if I get to retire at 55, that'll be great. And I started to think about, the expenses and all these things and all these wonderful things that I'm going to do when I retire, travel and do all these wonderful things. And I thought to myself, wow, that would be pretty cool. But I started to realize that 65 maybe wasn't the most ideal time to retire, because at the time, even when I turned 50, I thought, I still have a while before I, retire and travel and do all these things. I got lots of time. Don't worry about it. And it wasn't until I turned 55 that I started to change my mindset around retiring early or doing semi-retirement, because there seemed to be a sense of urgency just based on the experiences that I had encountered after 55. And the first thing was I was invited to my high school reunion, and I graduated in 1987. So that was many years ago, over 3 decades ago. And when I got to the reunion, there was a lot of people I didn't recognize, because I hadn't seen these people in decades, since 1987. So my memory of them was as kids. And when I got there, I saw how old people have gotten. I thought to myself, man, do I look that old too? And I started to look around the room, and everyone had a lot more gray hair. And the other thing that was kind of shocking was I started seeing people with health problems, and maybe they were walking around with a cane or something like that. And I thought, oh my gosh, it was just seemed like yesterday that we were running around high school. And I also started to see some of my favorite musicians passing on. So you see people like, for example, some of the members of the Beatles, right? I see Paul McCartney now is 80 years old. He's still performing. But some of the old heavy metal bands that I grew up with in the 80s, their voices are not what they used to be. And they're not jumping around the stage like they used to. And I'm getting a lot of videos that are nostalgic videos from the 80s, showing footage of kids in high school during that time. And it's so interesting because I don't know these kids in the video, but just seeing the video almost feels like I knew them, because that's exactly how I remember the 80s, with the big hair and all these MTV and all these things that remind me of my youth. And what hit me also the most was just seeing my parents get older. It was almost like overnight it just switched and they got old. I mean, I did notice them getting gray hair and getting grayer, but I just saw them a few years ago, and they traveled out to visit me in my city. And I kid you not, within the past 2 years, my dad's health had gone down, my mom's health had gone down, and they lost their zest for travel. And when I asked them to come out and visit now, they said that it's not fun anymore, because they can't walk very far without pain. My mom is goes shopping. She has to sit down every 15 minutes. And my dad walks a little bit slower. He's lost all his strength. And so he just kind of shuffles around the house and sleeps for many hours and doesn't get up till 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And I also noticed he had a little bit of cognitive decline as well. And I started to dawn on me that, wow, they worked hard all their life, and now they have all this, disposable income to go travel, and they can't go enjoy it. And I thought, what is the purpose of having money if you cannot enjoy it and enjoy the experiences that come along with it? And I thought to myself, wow, what a waste, because they had worked all their life to retire and not be able to do the things that they want anymore. And I'm about to turn 57, and it kind of dawned on me that, you know what, you really don't have that much time left. And I started to see things that were advertised for seniors. For example, I'd go to Denny's, and all of a sudden now I get a senior discount, which is really weird. And also, the local community center would send their annual program guide to us, and lo and behold, see a section for seniors classes 55 plus. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm there now. And it's a weird feeling. And I share this to people I know who are 30 years old. I say, it's the weirdest feeling to be in this situation, because when you were 30, you don't think about, that, oh, I'm going to be 50 years old, and it just comes on so fast. And my father-in-law also, he was very active, at a very active retirement, and he's now 93, which is incredible. He was always in fairly good shape all his life. He always exercised, played badminton all the time, and did all these things. And the last few years, his health declined, so he's in a nursing home now. And you start getting friends with heart issues. I get friends now that call me, and they said, that they have to go get an MRI done, and they got joint issues. Maybe their knees are not so well. And you also start to see classmates and people that you grew up with start to pass away. And I thought, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to make a decision to enjoy the youth of my senior years, which is in my 50s, not wait till 65 to enjoy and go travel, because I'm right now, I'm able to go hiking. I do all these things. I'm in fairly good shape, but we don't know what's going to happen when you're 65, and a lot can change, because my uncle and aunt, they wanted to travel, and they did for a few years after they retired. They worked hard at the restaurant for the majority of their lives, but now one of them is ill, and he can't travel very far because he has to, be near a washroom all the time, and he's got urinary issues. So my aunt has to go travel without him, and they're only in their early 70s. And I thought to myself, well, that's a shame, right? So, I highly recommend everybody reconsider if they're going to work a few more years just to save some more money, because there's really no point if you cannot enjoy it, and you never get back that time that's to have those experiences. And I think caregiving really changes a lot of plans, because my father-in-law, who's in the care home right now, my wife is helping out with the caretaking, and so now we're not able to travel for a long time. I mean, she's very good about it. She tells me to go and not be held back, but she can only go on vacation for a week, and then she has to come back because she doesn't want to put the onus on her mother and sister. And so a lot of things do change, because if you wait till you're 60, you could be doing caretaking. Maybe your spouse or one of you gets sick, and now you're in a situation where you can't travel, and you have to take care of your duties back here. And if you have the time now and can find a way to travel and retire early or semi-retire, I suggest doing it, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what curveballs are going to be thrown at you later on. And the most important thing to me is having the time, the freedom, and health. I used to think everything was about the finances, and I think most retirement, the majority of actually retirement channels I've watched, or financial retirement advisors, they always talk about the finances, but they don't really talk about the what you're going to do during retirement. Like, what's the purpose? What's your purpose? What's going to make you happy? What are your goals? What are the things that you want to do all your life that you never got a chance to do? And retiring early allows you to fulfill those dreams, and allows you to check off that bucket list of things that you want to do when you were younger. And I think the focus should really be about your health, and living a healthy life, and maximizing your time that you have on this earth, and being healthy. Because even though I've seen people that are in phenomenal shape, eventually we're going to have a decline or some kind of health issue later on. And when that arises, you're not going to have that opportunity anymore to enjoy and to travel and do all these things. Because I just see from my experiences going back home to see my friends and visiting their parents who are now late 70s, 80s, they really don't do anything other than sit around, watch TV, and pass the time. And for me, I don't want to live my life where I regret not having the opportunity to experience new experiences, and put that off just for to make some extra money, right? And so for me, semi-retirement was the best option for me, because I can still work, I can still earn money, but now I don't feel under pressure to try to stress myself out to make as much money as I can. So I think that's my words of wisdom to you guys: is concentrate on your health, and make use of your time, and think about taking early retirement if you can. All right. So I hope that message resonates with you, and if you like my content, feel free to like or share, and please feel free to check out my other videos. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye now.